Hello, and welcome back to Chad Mental Health Care, where I teach you how to be a Giga Chad about your mental health care. Today, I am going to be discussing the very, very high importance of taking your medication. So, all of us with a clinical mental health condition, such as mine, which is schizoaffective disorder, and that is, and if you, for those of you who do not know, that is an umbrella term. Like, it basically is schizophrenic symptoms like hallucinations, visually and auditory. So both I hear things that aren't real, and I also see things that aren't real. Some people also smell things that aren't real. I very rarely have that. But see, the difference is between this and full-blown schizophrenia is that mine is fairly moderate compared to someone with full-blown schizophrenia. Now, I don't envy full-blown schizophrenia. I hate antipsychotics, but I need them. I have finally found one that actually works for me very well. It is called Prestique. Unfortunately, it is like one of the last ones that they put you on. I've been in the system for quite a long time now, so I've been around the block when it comes to the medications. But I wanted to try to find stuff that wasn't gonna make me a zombie, but also would keep the hallucinations and the very bipolar nature of schizoaffective disorder. That's the other part of it. Not only is it hallucinations, but it's also extremely bipolar. And there's also quite a few autistic symptoms thrown in there just for good measure. So it's a very unfortunate illness to have if you want to be a productive member of society. I have very often been called lazy, but really they didn't understand what was going on in my brain. Like when you have like a constant bombardment of hallucinations all around you, and you have people calling you, and then furthermore, I have some PTSD from childhood abuse. I was abused by my kindergarten teacher. I will talk about that in another video at length. But that really didn't make it any better. I was 5 years old, so I'll talk about that later. To get back to the point, medication is extremely important regardless of what mental illness you have. Whether you have bipolar, you have schizophrenia, you have autism, whatever it is incredibly vital that you take your prescribed medication, and as prescribed. I cannot tell you how many stories of people that I know personally, who I'm not going to mention any names specifically, but over the years I've met several people who overdo their medication because whether it's for self-harm or for the way it makes you feel, self-medication, of course, is what they call it. But it's important to take it as prescribed because the doctor's specifically giving you the proper amount so that it can actually function, so you can function. Yes, it can take time, and I've termed it the unfortunate Russian roulette of the mental health system, because you have to try things because not everybody's different with the chemicals in here, and everybody's is a little bit different. So what works for me may not work for you at all, or it may make you worse in some cases. This is a difficult situation to be in with medication because your doctor would know better than me. Even though I've been around the block and I can be like, well, this worked for me, it may not work for you. It's like dieting. Nobody has the same thing. Like your body's metabolism's different. Like it's all of our chemicals. It's the chemicals inside us. So, but yeah, you definitely need to take your medication as directed and as prescribed. Is very important if you have a clinical mental illness, because you're not going to If you stop taking it for one day, you're going to be all out of whack. You're going to be wacky. And everyone is around you is going to be able to tell, and you may not be able to even tell. You may even think that you're better off without it, but no, you're not. You're really not. Like I can tell you that for a fact. Like, I'm sorry, but you're not better off without the medication. You may be better off without that particular one, but you need to be on something if you have a clinical mental health problem. I implore you, please do that. Do that for yourself, and if not for yourself, for the people that love you, because it is incredibly imperative that you take care of yourself. And this is the whole thing about Chad mental health. I want you to be a Giga Chad about your mental health care. I want you to be better for yourself, as well as for the people that love you and who want you to be better for yourself too. So I've rambled on enough about this. I think that you understand now that it is very important to take your medication, whether you have schizophrenia or anything else. I will talk further about this stuff later, but I just wanted to touch on it a little bit now. But I hope that you understand a little bit more about the importance of taking it and as prescribed. So I will see you later, and I hope that you have a good morning, a wonderful afternoon, or an amazing evening.